Hello everyone, I'm Sastu Alahakon, Software Engineer at WSO2. In this video, we are going to look at query expressions in Ballerina. The syntax for the query expression is very simple. There are three main parts in the syntax of query expression. Those are from clause, select clause, and intermediate clauses. Where, let, join, order by, and limit clauses are included in the intermediate clauses. The query expressions can have 0 or more intermediate clauses in the query. Note that the from statement and select statement is mandatory for the query expression, while other clauses are optional. The first part is from clause. With this clause, we can get the data from the data source. To do that, we need to define a variable with the type of the data. Then we set the keyword in, and then we write the name of the data source from which we will read the data. This data source can be a list, map, table, stream, string, or XML. For example, assume that we have an array of employee record like this, and we want to get the record of each employee through a query. So type from, and now we have to define a variable for the data element in the data source. So here the data source is employee details, which consists of an array of employee records. Each record has a user defined type of employee. So type employee, then give the variable name as employee, then type keyword in, then after that we have to type the name of the data source. In this case it is employee details. So this is the syntax for the from clause. Before going to other parts, I will go through the select clause here. Because like I said before, from and select clauses are mandatory for Ballerina query expressions. The select clause is very simple. Just type select keyword and then what you need to return in the each iteration. In this case, I will type select, and then I need to return employee variable in each iteration. Now we need to assign this query expression into a variable. For that, I will use create variable code action, and I will rename the variable as employees. Now I will use a print statement to see the result, and let's run our Ballerina program. You can see that the program outputs each employee record which is in the employee details array. The next part of the query expression is where clause. This is similar to a where clause in SQL queries if you are familiar with them. Where clause is used to filter the data based on the condition in each iteration. So let's continue our previous code sample. Assume now we don't need all employees. We only want employees who have salaries more than $3,500. So this is the way to do that. Type where keyword after the from clause and add the condition. Here the condition is employee.salary greater than 3,500. So let's run our Ballerina program to see the result. So you can see that it only gives two results. The record that contained name as Ann is eliminated because the salary is less than 3,500. So our next clause is let expression. With the let clause, we can define new variable inside the query. It can be helped to get the data from the data source with some calculation. If we use this let clause before the where clause, we can use these new let variables for the where conditions as well. Assume for all employees, basic salary calculated by subtracting 1000 from the total salary. We can define this to a variable by using a let clause and use that for where condition as well. So let's type let keyword followed by the type of the variable. In this case it is float. Then I will rename the variable as basic salary. Then add the logic to calculate the basic salary. In this case, subtract 1000 from the employee salary. So this is how we define the variables using the let clause inside the query expression. So now we can update the where condition to have this basic salary like this. So new where condition is basic salary should be greater than $2,500. So now let's run our Ballerina program to see the result. So you can see that the employees who didn't have basic salary more than 2,500 are eliminated from the result. Important note that we can use more than one let clauses inside a query. So now we are ready to go for the next part of the query. The next part of the query expression is join clause. The join clause performs an inner or left outer equijoin between two data sources. This is similar to a join clause in SQL queries if you are familiar with them. To perform a join operation, we need another data source. So I will add a list of contract-based employees like this. For this, first we have to define a new type for contract-based employee and create a new list of contract-based employees and add values like this. So now all the things are ready. We can add a join clause for our query expression. We are going to join the employee list with the contract-based employee list based on the name attribute. So type join and then we have to define a variable for the members in the contract-based employee list. So it is type of contract-based employee and I will name the variable as contract employee. After that type keyword in, then the list name. In this case, it is contract-based employee details. Now we have to add the join condition in here. We want to join if the employee name is equal to the contract employee name. So after the keyword on, type employee.name equals contract employee.name. So that's it. Now this query performs join between two lists based on the name attribute. So let's run our Ballerina program to see the result. You can see that the program outputs two records. So the name John and the name Peter are included in both employee details list and the contract based employee list. Now we can move to the next part of the query. It is order by clause. It is similar to the order clause in SQL. It will use to make the result ascend in or descend in order based on an attribute. So assume that we want to order the final results by employee name in descending order. So for that, type order by, then the attribute name, in this case it is employee.name. So now we want to give whether it is ascending or descending. The default is ascending order. Because I want to order by descending order in here, I will type descending. So that's it. We ordered the result based on the employee name in descending order. So now let's run our Ballerina program to see the result. You can see that it outputs two records based on the descending order of the name. The last part we are going to discuss is the limit clause. This is also similar to the SQL limit query. Limit clause is used to limit the results. As an example, if we use limit 1, that means we only get one data record from the query. So let's update our query with limit clause. Type limit and then the limit value. In this case, I will add 1. So let's run our Ballerina program. So it will output only one record, which is the first one In this video, we discussed about from clause, select clause, and intermediate clauses of Ballerina query expressions. In the next video, we are going to discuss about how to construct data types using query expressions.